Before I start the video, I wanted to tell you that I'm going to get this week my 100 subscribers. Without you, I wouldn't have come so far, and it felt like yesterday when I had my 50 subscribers on the 31st of December 2017. And it all happened in 1 month. Thank you so much for your support. And in order to give it back to you, I'm going to do a Q&A for you, and you can ask me literally anything. The only thing what you have to be wary is that you have to write the questions down in Serbian, German or English. That's the only thing what I can say, and please write as many as possible down. I will be very glad in order to answer them to you. I'm going to publish the next video on Saturday this week, so stay tuned and see you then. Ah yeah, what I'm going to do now. First, you have to watch this video now. Check it out, I hope you will like it. See ya. Yes everyone, it's Vazbor and welcome to my latest video. And today I'm going to show you something what I know very well, but it is something completely unique. I'm going to do a list of 5 different things what you can only find in Switzerland. So what are we waiting for? Let's check them out. Number 1. Many big towns in Switzerland are situated on a lake. Usually most towns all over the world are either situated right next to the sea or on a river bank. In Switzerland there are towns like Basel lying on the Rhine and Bern lying on the Aare. But how about the other towns? Aren't they lying on the river as well? To be honest, no. There are a lot of smaller towns lying on rivers, but from the big ones they have another speciality. They are lying on a lake. Because Switzerland has no sea access, but instead lots of lakes, many of the big towns are situated on a lake. Geneva and Lausanne on the Lake Geneva, Biel on the Lake Biel, Lucerne on the Lake Lucerne, Zurich on the Lake Zurich, St. Gallen on the Lake Constance, and Lugano on the Lake Lugano. From the top 10 of the most populous towns inside Switzerland, 7 are lying on a lake. Incredible, isn't it? There is just one thing. What is so special about lying on a lake? Lucerne and Zurich, they've got a marvelous view from the lake shore towards the Alps. So on a clear day you can see even the snow-covered mountains in the background. That looks amazing. Lake Geneva and Lake Constance are a different story. They are not just big lakes. I mean, Lake Geneva is the biggest lake inside Switzerland, but there are other things. For example, Lake Constance is situated inside 3 countries, namely Switzerland, Germany and Austria, and it is lying on an extreme point, namely in the northeastern corner of Switzerland. And Lake Geneva is situated in the southwestern corner of Switzerland, sharing it together with France. We talked a lot about extreme points, didn't we? So I've got another thing what has to do with an extreme point as well. Number 2. International airports lying partially or completely on foreign ground. Because Switzerland has a lot of towns lying on extreme points, and I mean not just small towns, I mean even big towns, like the second and the third biggest towns inside Switzerland, Geneva and Basel. Both have an international airport. You can guess how the situation is there with the space. Yeah, it is a bit cramped. Both towns have solved the problem a little bit differently. Geneva had originally the terminal and the runway only on the Swiss side. But in the 1950s, Switzerland had to make the runway longer so that bigger planes can land on the runway. And because there was not enough space, they had to ask France, but France was reluctant. They first of all didn't want to give them a piece of land, but in the end they agreed, and the only thing what Switzerland had to do is building a part where the French people can go to the terminal so that they don't have to cross a border control, so that they have their own terminal and their own road to come to the airport. So the story in Basel is a little bit different. The airport is lying completely on French ground. but it is shared between two countries, namely France and Switzerland. So it's the only binational airport in the world. Probably you think you can only access the airport from France only, yeah? No. The thing is, you can access it also from Switzerland, and France made a corridor going straight through France, but no border checkpoints are needed there, so that Swiss people can also go, like in Geneva, the French people, directly to the airport without crossing a border checkpoint. Do you want to hear something from politeness, how polite Switzerland is? Check this fact out. Number 3. Public transport announcements even apologizing for short time delays. This is one of the most typical things what you can find as a tourist, because tourists, they usually go by public transport inside Switzerland. And what can be the best in order to explore Switzerland? Taking the train. Usually foreigners have absolutely no problem when a train is coming like a few minutes late. But the locals here, for them it's a big deal. It is just because Swiss public transport is working like a Swiss watch. It's extremely punctual, it comes right to the minute, and it is rarely late. So delays hardly occur. But what if they occur? You can see people standing on the bus stop or on a train station being nervous when a train is not arriving on time. And this even just after 1 or 2 minutes. But you know what? If a train or bus is exceeding the delay of over 3 minutes, an apology is being announced. Not just an apology, but also the time you have to wait extra and the reason why the bus or train is delayed. That's one thing what you can only find here. I have been to so many countries, and there it was so normal that even a train or a bus was punctual even though it was like 10 minutes late. Without an apology, of course. Here I got also an excerpt how it even sounds like.
Information zum ICN nach St. Gallen. Der ICN nach Uzwil, Slawil, Gossau, St. Gallen, Abfahrt 10:23 Uhr wird circa 5 Minuten später abfahren. Grund dafür ist eine technische Störung an der Bahnanlage.
It might feel a bit strange, but it is a part of the everyday life of an average Swiss citizen. Just like the next thing. Number 4. The Type J plug outlet. Everywhere in the world you find different types of plug outlets. For example, in Europe you usually find the Type C and E, and in North America you find A and B. But because I live in Switzerland, here the things are a bit different. Apart from the usual Type C plug outlet, which is also known as the Euro plug, we've got also a specific type of plugs, namely the Type J plug outlet. The only difference between the Euro plug and the Type J plug outlet is it has a third pin, and it looks like this. Yeah, it has hardly any differences, and a Type C plug outlet can fit easily into a Type J outlet. But why are we using the Type J plug outlet? One of the reasons are different safety norms, because the safety norms inside the EU and Switzerland vary. And there is just one ridiculous reason. Switzerland is a lot more expensive than its neighbors, and instead of lowering the cost for electronic appliances, they just use another plug and make the price compared to the neighbors a lot bigger. Actually, today this is not anymore relevant, because apparently compared to Germany, Swiss electronic appliances are cheaper. I can't believe it even by myself. The world is just crazy. And you know what? The Type J plug outlet is not only used inside Switzerland, but also in Liechtenstein, and, you can believe it, in Rwanda. Do you believe it cannot become weirder? Oh well, it can. Number 5. speaking dialect and writing standard language. This is actually a thing which only applies for German-speaking Switzerland, because in the French and Italian-speaking parts, the usual language is close to the standard languages of the respective countries, namely France and Italy, but with a slightly different vocabulary. While in the German-speaking part, it's a completely different story. What in other countries is a big no-go, here it is completely alright, even on formal occasions. Exceptions would just be sessions in the parliament and school lessons. But that's it. In the rest of the daily life, Swiss German people use a Swiss German dialect. Maybe with your friends, or food shopping, radio and TV broadcasts, or even on a job interview. Feel free using it, because this is the language which people use here most, because they are most comfortable using it. There's just one strange thing about it. There is no written form of the dialect. So basically you can just write it down how you think it sounds best. But there's just one problem. How can you do it in formal situations? You use standard German. It ends up in a complete mess. You speak dialect, read and write German, and you know what? People are feeling completely fine with it. If you are, for example, a native German speaker but don't understand Swiss dialect, people will switch instantly into standard German with you. And that's what I think is really cool, because you talk one language and then you switch like it's magic. Also, Swiss German people are willing to help you if you want to understand the dialect, because they really appreciate it when other people are trying to integrate themselves in the society. But that's normal in every country, isn't it? That was it from my side. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Leave a thumb up if you want to see a part 2 of the video, because there are so many other things which are happening only in Switzerland, and I hope that I can share them with you as well. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I'm active there as well. I'm posting regularly about my daily life and about updates on YouTube. And also don't forget to write some questions down for the Q&A, which I'm going to do for the next Saturday. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.